What's up, fellas? My name is Cody. I'm a multi-platinum music producer, and I am blessed and lucky enough to make a couple M's off this little music production thing. From uprooting my life, moving to LA for 5 years, to living in a music production content house, making stuff 24/7, working with biggest artists in the industry in person. I always feel a sense of duty and responsibility to come back here and spit game for you guys, because this is my foundation. This is where I started, and I know this is where a lot of you guys are starting too. So I want to give you guys some advice on how to make a career off of this, make a living off of this, just making beats. So I'm breaking this up into 3 levels. We got beginner, intermediate, advanced, and I promise you this is some no nonsense, no BS, no fluff type of guide. Everything I'm going to tell you, man, is concrete stuff that you can apply immediately. Whether you're brand new to producing, it's like you're within your first year, or you're advanced and you're actually making a living off music, I could probably give you some tips and advice to maximize your profits and your efficiency, man. Some extra things you could do. So beginner tip number 1, you guys are going to want to consume a lot of content from credible people. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about people who are actually doing the things you want to do. There's just no better way to learn than from people who are in the position you want to be in. Some off the top of my head, Nick Mears, literally goated, one of the greatest. Go watch his videos. Go watch long form cookups. That's a big thing too, bro. Don't be afraid of the long form cookups. There's so unbelievably so much information you can learn just from watching somebody like Nick cook up for a long time, and you could kind of piece together what he's thinking after you watch long enough and how he's kind of coming up with certain ideas and stuff. And it's just the best way to do it. Consume from the best. So got people like Nick Mears, Simon Servita is great. Another channel I like that's a little underrated is Thought Forms. I love learning like drum and bass and ambient stuff from him, some different genre stuff, and they package it in just such a good way. Tip number 2, you're gonna have to be prepared mentally to not make money for a good amount of time when you start making music, man. It's gonna take maybe a year or 2 before you see a dime off of music. It's how long it took for me, probably like a year and a half, 2 years before I saw a dime off of my music. And I'm talking about like a $10 lease on something. You got to be able to weather the storm in that case. A lot of the times it's better, man. You got to take the stairs. It's much better. You don't want to blow up too fast and have everybody hitting you up, and then your skill's not all the way there. You don't got your business right, or you don't have a lot of time under your belt, and then people kind of disregard you after they got that first impression of you. So it's a little bit of a blessing when it takes a lot of time, and you just got to be prepared for it to take a lot of time. It's a labor of love, man. You got to do this. It's a passion thing. The whole industry, man, is basically pipeline. You're not getting the immediate gratification for almost anything you do, man. All your gratification is on like a 6 to 9 month delay. I'm even payments, man. Sometimes even longer. So you just got to be prepared for that going into it. If your goal is to do this as a career, it's got to be a passion, a labor of love to begin with, first and foremost. Another big thing, tip number 3, is being a fan of all music. There's so much you can learn from different genres of music, and you just got to be a fan of the art in and of itself, because there's so many tools and things you can learn and things you hear from different genres that you can apply to the thing you want to focus on or niche down to. I call it like tools. You take a little tool from tool belt. You hear something in this genre of music, you'd be like, this, the way they do transitions here would be sick in this type of beat in the realm I'm working in and stuff. And that's how you really develop like a cool sound and something that's unique and not kind of run of the mill, like all just very one-dimensional. You got to be just a fan of music in general, man. Tip number 4, guys, I know the method, it seems like, is like you want to either be a drum guy or a loop guy, and a loop guy who just feeds everybody and is just a melody sample maker, whatever the case may be. But I'm telling you, man, especially if you're starting out and you're a beginner, you got to learn how to do everything off rip. The best thing you do is work on full ideas and then maybe even strip it down. Like, so for example, if you want to be a sample guy, put drums on that bitch, and then when you want to send it out to people, strip the drums and stem out the melody and send that out. What that is going to do, man, it's going to let you kind of really hear the pockets and how to have space and not overproduce your stuff, because this is a big issue a lot of producers have when they're starting out, especially people who focus on only one thing. Like if you're just a drum guy, you're going to put way too many drums. You're going to try and do way too much. If you're a melody guy, you're going to try and do way too much. You're going to fill up all the frequency, all the spectrum, and you forget at the end of the day, the point is to have an artist on the track, which is, I hate to break it to you, man, that's a voice, that's a vocal, that's a layer that takes up frequencies. Their ad-libs also another layer of the melody. So best way to really get used to that is make full ideas and then strip the ideas back and then send it out, if that is kind of what your goal is in terms of networking and connecting with other producers, like sending out melodies or whatever the case may baby. But don't get in the habit of just making 34 layers of a melody and then sending it out and then never putting drums on it, or kind of seeing how it works or where the pockets are, because what's going to happen is you're going to overproduce your stuff and you're going to fill up all the frequencies. You're not going to leave space for anybody else involved in this equation to shine, which is a big thing, man. You got to make them feel like they can shine on what you're doing. Everybody, the producer, the artist who's getting on the track, everybody. Tip number 5, you got to do good business, bro. I mean, to this day, man, it doesn't matter if you have 4 followers or you got 100,000 followers. I split all my stuff equal in almost every scenario. Everybody's equal. If you're involved on the project with me, we're going to do good business, because guess what? It's not going to be the last song I do. I'm not going to clutch my pearls, I guess, so to say, try to get an absorbent out of money out of something when I know I'm going to be working with this artist, or I'm not going to try and take a fat percent from a producer that works with me just because I'm a bigger name. It's not cool to do that, man. There's certain scenarios where I completely understand, like I don't want to do a blanket term on that, but in general, man, you got to do good business, treat everybody with respect, and realize it's not going to be your only song. So don't treat it like it's your only song, and you got to get that extra edge on everybody you work with, because if you want to do a lot of work, make business easy, fair. I'm not saying don't be a pushover, but be fair and do stuff, make it easy so that we could continue to all work together and grow, do whole projects together and stuff. You're hard to work with. You're trying to bitch over 5-10% extra on somebody because you feel like you did a little bit more, or your part of the beat is more important than whatever they did. Don't be like that, man. Don't be like that. Beginner tip number 6, delete your ego, dog. Delete it, man. It doesn't matter. And it piggybacks off of tip number 5, but in this way, I mean it, where you're going to send out stuff and people aren't going to respond. If you get the okay from somebody to send stuff to them and they don't respond after they give you the okay, that doesn't mean like, hey bro, did you use anything? Hey bro, am I wasting my time? Just build that pipeline. If they gave you the okay, bro, just keep sending stuff. Turn your brain off. Keep sending, whether it's an artist, whether it's a producer, as long as they gave you that consent, they gave you the a-okay, yeah, slide me stuff. Everybody's busy, bro. I get 300 messages a day of people wanting to send me stuff, have me review their music, or artists want me to send them stuff. Like, if I give somebody the okay to send me stuff, I hate having to make sure they're okay every 2 days and checking in when they check in with me and stuff. Just feed me, bro. I'll tell you when we get some. I'll tell you when we got some motion going. Just turn your brain off and keep working. Beginner tip number 7, network with people at your level. Don't always just shoot for the stars. It's a big thing, man. Everybody wants to work with Cxdy. Everybody wants to work with Benny X and all these big producers and stuff. Find people who you think are fire at your level that realistically will give you a response, and hit those people up and be down to work with them. I'm not saying don't reach for the stars, but what I'm saying is you got to do both. You can't just reach for the stars and then get upset when you don't land. You know what I mean? Like, you got to be able to kind of build a name for yourself, be a part of projects and stuff that's kind of around your level. And then tip number 8 that's going to piggyback off that is join communities like my community, my Discord. Got 85,000 members, the Cody Cord, and there's great producers in there, really fire people that I found from there that I'm down to work with all the time now. I have them send me stuff. It's a real thing. It's not me just telling people to get in my Discord. It really happens. People have gotten songs from there. Artists have gotten beats from there, all that stuff. You just got to be normal, bro. Don't go in there and have an ego. Back to the other thing. Don't have ego. Don't do all this extra crap. Just be normal. Work hard. That's a good way to network, especially in today's age, man, when everything's digital and everything's online. So yeah, it's a good one, especially if you're not from the States. If you're from out of the country, great way to connect with people. Beginner tip number 9, fellas, is consistency. It's going to put you ahead of genuinely like 80-90% of people. It is such a buzzkill when people, like, they're producing and then they get in their head and then they take a 2-3 month break and then they come back and they feel like they're on top of the world. They're making fire stuff, then they send it out and then nobody's using it. Then they get back in their head and then the cycle just starts going. The big difference is people who could stay disciplined throughout all these things. For example, if you want to be an NBA player, bro, you gotta train like you're in the NBA before you get drafted, bro. You gotta be on that level before then. And if you want this to be a job, you gotta treat it like a job. It's not, oh, I don't really feel like doing that much today. No, you gotta do it, man. Realistically, bro, you're not always gonna want to feel like doing something, even things that are good for you. You don't want to do it all the time, but that's the difference, man. As long as you just get that consistency going, you're gonna put yourself ahead of 80-90% of people. I'm telling you, bro. Even though the game seems like it's super saturated, the people who are actually treating it like they want to do it as a full-time job is very little. It's like gaming, bro. How many people want to be a pro gamer or a pro streamer, but how many people stream like once a week, bro? It don't work like that. You're not gonna be iShowSpeed streaming once a week. Like, you gotta treat it like it's your job. Beginner tip number 10, guys, figure out what you want to do, man. There's so many things people can do in music, in the music industry, that doesn't involve just making stuff for artists. If that's one of your goals, that's awesome. Then I got a lot of great advice for you. But if your goal is to also just make music for yourself, or make music with nobody to be on it, like instrumentals, some Aphex Twin type of thing, like, bro, go do it, bro. Put your stuff out there. Put your stuff out online. Drop stuff on Spotify, Apple Music, and do this stuff. Don't be afraid to express yourself. Stop gatekeeping your music all the time. Even if you're going to be growing and you know that in the future that you're going to look back on those things and be like, it wasn't that good. Trust me, bro. I got some music out there that's got like, it's just beats that got like 400, 500, a million views, a million streams, and the 808s ain't in key, bro. It just is what it is, man. You're going to keep growing as you evolve as a producer, and I think waiting or gatekeeping your stuff until you feel like you're at your apex is just not the move, bro. You got to be able to put yourself out there and not be afraid to get criticized, man. Maybe your stuff's not that good. It's fine, bro. Who gives a crap, man? As long as you're consistent and you eventually get good, then none of that stuff in the past matters. Those are all stepping stones for you to build yourself to having a career in this field. All right, fellas, on to intermediate tips. Tip number 1, create multiple streams of income. You don't want to just depend on one thing. This is like kind of like an investing thing. You want your portfolio to not have all your eggs in one basket. For example, you don't want to just only put stuff out on Type Beats and pray an artist finds it. Or on the other end, you don't want to just shoot for the stars and only try and send stuff like in a long shot to Lil Baby, Lil Tecca, Gunna, whoever, bro. Just name any artists. You got to be able to diversify and create multiple streams of income. That's going to protect you when things are going a little slow in one sector. Whether you like making drum kits, you like making loop kits, you got a Patreon like I do where you offer stuff like every month. You get that in the description below, or you offer like whatever it is, man. Doesn't matter. Just insert whatever. Put stuff out online, drop stuff on streaming services, make YouTube videos, do any of these things that speak to you. I can't tell you exactly what it is. I can only give you like some ideas, like making videos, or if you want to go an Aphex Twins route or something like that, and you put out just instrumentals. If you think your stuff is like a par for that, put your stuff out, and don't be afraid of criticism with that stuff, man. It's very big. Get your streams of revenue diversified so that when one thing, your golden goose, is slowed down, you got other things that are going to carry you through that time, because that's always going to happen. Doesn't matter how big you are. There's slopes. It's music, bro. This is music, bro. It's all like this, up, down, 24/7. So intermediate tip number 2, be your own brand, fellas. It's really important. There's a million ways to do this, whether you do it the way I'm doing it, where you put yourself out there, you make videos like this. I'm not telling you it's the only way, but you gotta have something where it's like, it's you, bro, and people know it's you out in the world. Whether you're gonna do something like whether make videos, or you're gonna be focusing on making VSTs or something, like you gotta have a brand to be able to let people know what you're doing and what you're working on. Giving something for somebody to be able to follow or latch on to, remember you by, instead of just being some really faceless, nameless type of producer who's just sending shots in the dark. You don't want to do that, man. For every person who makes it work where they're kind of just a mysterious producer behind the scenes, there's 7 trillion people who ain't making it that way. So that's the real lottery right there. You got to up your chances as much as humanly possible by being able to put yourself out there and be a brand, and don't be afraid to express yourself or give your opinions on stuff if you have good opinions. I mean, don't have an ego and stuff. Good ways to work on stuff like that. Intermediate tip number 3, do everything you possibly can to get in the studio with these artists and work in person. It's just such a different experience. Being able to meet somebody face to face, one-on-one, does something way different than just sending stuff in online. Trust me on this. This is like from experience thing. I promise you. You get that rapport one-on-one. People know you're not a weirdo in real life and you're not just a robot sending in stuff. You're going to be able to lock in with that person forever, man. It's big. It's a big deal. So make sure you get that experience under your belt, and you might bomb some sessions. I've bombed some sessions, fellas. Early on in my career, I've bombed some sessions and been in some pretty awkward, embarrassing scenarios, but I can confidently say I ain't been in a scenario like that in a long time, but that's because I wasn't afraid to go over those hurdles and have those obstacles happen, because the only way you learn how to navigate those obstacles is you hit the obstacle, you know what I mean? All right, guys, intermediate tip 4 is you guys got to be an A&R. People think that's a separate role from being a producer, but it's kind of baked into being a producer, especially if you want to do this for a living, because you got to be able to spot talent early and find people who are worth working with and be like, yo, this guy's got a great sound. I would love to help develop this sound with somebody who's got, maybe 1,000 followers or under 10K or something, because that's is gonna be what's fruitful. You do good business and you go link with that person. People always talk about like, oh, these artists like will leave their producer in the dust and stuff. There's a lot of nuance to those situations, but I'm telling you, if you get really good relationships with these people early on and they know that you're a person who saw the vision early, they're gonna respect you and they're gonna kind of try and make sure you're along for the ride as well as you try to help them, and they'll probably feel like you're an integral part of their sound, because guess what? You were there from the beginning. You weren't hopping on a trend. You're working with people you believe in, and there's no better way to be a fire producer than to be a fire A&R and know what's worth working with, or you can hear hear that like special thing, that you hear that thing that nobody else hears. It's the skill that comes with experience and doing this and treating it as a passion. Tip number 5, have a specialty, but don't be a one-trick pony. I know it sounds like kind of like contradictory, but you want to be known for something, a specific thing, but you also want to be able to jump around and do other things, because as you start moving up and start getting more stuff, other artists who just respect you and like the stuff you produce, they might want you to be able to kind of tweak it and tailor it to be a little bit more their vibe, because not everybody's trying to hop on somebody else's trend 24/7. So tip 6, make sure you guys got a store. Make sure you guys have a way for people to contact you really easily. None of these people want to like go through 6 hoops just to get in contact with you. You gotta make it easy. You gotta have all your ducks in a row, and make sure you're signed up with the PRO, whether it's ASCAP, BMI, whether you're releasing music through I don't know, TuneCore, DistroKid. I'm not co-signing anything. I'm just saying make sure you got all those ducks in a row so you're collecting the money you are deserved. Don't want to leave any money out on the table, and you don't want to make it hard for anybody to get in contact with you to potentially give you money or make money with you. You know what I mean? So take that stuff seriously. Do a lot of research. You could do stuff. It's so easy now on ChatGPT to get these things to explain. Tip 7 is for producers. Start to make a little money. Start thinking they need a manager. Guess what? You don't. You don't need a manager very early on. You don't need some of these things. This is like, you guys think that's going to be the thing that brings you to the next level. It's not. You're going to be the person who gets your own motion. It's all dependent on you. You need to go for that stuff and maybe start thinking about that stuff when it's hard. Like you're getting a lot of paperwork and you're like, damn, I need to make sure this paperwork's done right. I need to make sure that I'm getting what I'm owed on these songs, or that somebody's negotiating a good price for me. But people think that if you got no motion, or you're just selling a few songs or getting songs here and there, that you need a manager to come in and do all this stuff for you. It doesn't really work like that. A lot of it falls on you. You don't need to go rush to give somebody 20% of what you're making, bro. You don't want to do that. Trust me. Take your time with that stuff. It's not going to make you more official. Trust me. It's going to come naturally instead of you. And this is coming from me. My manager now was somebody I had hit up like a long time ago, and he denied me at first. He was like, for what? What am I managing you for? Like just to take 20% of some random stuff that you get? All right, moving on to a little bit more advanced tips. You're making a little money. You bought yourself a car. You got maybe an apartment, man. You got yourself a little team going on. But listen, don't sign a fat pub deal too early, bro. You don't want to sign a big fat pub deal for this main reason is you're going to be stuck in that deal for a long time if you aren't already doing stuff. If you don't already have motion and somebody's going to sign you, try to throw you a little 250K, and you're not really getting songs, you don't have any songs that have crazy motion, they're just trying to collect it early, and then you're going to be stuck in this deal trying to pay off that money for a very long time, bro. It's much better to take a smaller offer with a publishing team who's looking to build with you, maybe get you in some rooms, and then you'll be able to exercise separate options. So like say, for example, I don't know, I'm just throwing out a random number, bro. 100K. You collect the 100K, guess what? They have in the contract multiple options. So then your option 2, if they want to exercise it, it has to be it's going to be between 200 and 300K they're going to give you. And then you make that money back. And then it's going to go up to 600 to 750K or whatever the case may be. Make the number up. But it's much better to work that way. You're not stuck in something, or you're stuck in your first option trying to make that money back for your next 25 years of producing, bro. Not a good thing to be in. Advanced tip number 2, if you are in sessions with artists, stop stopping the beat. Stop it, bro. If you are cooking up with an artist, you got to learn how to produce by letting the beat go. You can't do one hi-hat, click spacebar, hit it over again 300 times. The artist is trying to catch a flow too, and especially if you guys are cooking up from scratch or something and he's trying to get a vibe or he's rocking with something, you're going to tire him out real quick by restarting the beat over and over. You got to be really good at letting the beat loop and adding the things to the beat as you're doing it. It's a really like niche thing that I don't see people talk about all the time, but I found that that's the best way to do it, man. You get people rocking on stuff like where they could just have an idea flow the whole time, and you're building the beat out without interrupting it. One, it's really cool. It's cool to hear because they're more like mesmerized, like wow, like this is like piecing together continuously, like seamlessly almost, instead of it being real like start stop and then the guy's got to like restart what he's writing all the time. You want him to be able to write as you're making the beat, and you want to make the beat as he's writing and be able to finish the beat as he's writing without interrupting his train of thought. Keep him in the zone. Your goal is to accommodate the artist and keep them in the zone. It's a big deal. Tip number 3, invest your money, dog. I know some of you guys aren't going to want to hear this, or it's like kind of outside of the scope of producing, but I'm telling you, it's still related. Make sure you invest that money. You're making good money off of music. You got a little extra cheese, and you got to put that money somewhere where it's going to make you more money. That shit sitting under your mattress is going down with inflation. Every day you leave that $100 under your mattress, it's losing value. It's buying you less and less. So attach your money to things things that grow your money, that grow on its own. Go pick yourself up The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham and go learn about stocks or something and go figure that out. That's how I got a lot of my wealth, is investing in right stuff and not being greedy and buying just random cars or just spending all my money on jewelry and stuff. Be very frugal and understand that there's going to be downturns in the music industry, whether, you know, it's so volatile, bro. You got to have things that are making you money while you sleep, bro. It's so big, bro. Please, I'm telling you, look to invest your money in stuff. Advanced tip 4, don't price yourself out of projects, bro. There's so many times where people, like, they don't want to lose out on money, so you're like asking for an exorbitant amount because you don't know what to ask for on a project, bro. Be realistic, bro. If this is an indie artist, they don't got $4,000 to spend on a track. I'm telling you, bro. So even though you might ruin the relationship and get that $4,000, guess what? You're never going to work with that artist again. It's much better to be realistic and be like, listen, we could grow together. We do these things. I'm going to cut you a deal on this. And guess what? That's going to lead to you getting 4, 5, 6, 7 songs on a project instead of them being like, damn, we only have budget for this one song. And honestly, they're kind of taxing. So the next project, we're probably going to have to work with some other people. So you don't want to ever do that to yourself. You got to be realistic about stuff. Obviously, value your work. Don't let people BS you, because that's going to happen a lot too, where people are going to act like they're completely broke and don't have a cent to pay you. That's a lie too. But it's that sweet middle ground. You don't want to be on the far end of the spectrum where you're just trying to make sure you don't get fucked over real hard. So you're just trying to really get as much money as you possibly can and get as much percent out of this as you possibly can. Be like, this is something that we're going to work together a lot in the future. So let's just be fair about this, bro. Let's be realistic, and we're going to grow together. Whether you're going to take a little bit less on the advance, you know, they're not going to pay you a bunch of money for the beat up front, then get a bigger part of the master. Go, the standard is 4%, 2 to 4%. Go get you a bigger chunk of the master. Be like, hey man, you know, you don't got to pay me top dollar for this beat, but you got to take care of me on the back end. So I believe in you as an artist. So give me 20% on this, and, you know, don't pay me for the beat or something like that. It's a great way to work. It's a great way to show an artist early on in their career that you're serious about it and that you're just working for the love of the game, and that if you win, I win type of thing. Advanced tip 5, if you're making a living off music, you're probably making a shit ton of beats, buddy. So make sure that that stuff's organized and it's very easy for you to be able to send to people. People are going to hit you up all the time. The faster you could send something for somebody, don't be like, yo, okay, give me one day to put together some stuff. Have your stuff organized in a way so that if somebody hits you up within 10 minutes, you can have a 20 pack for that person, or you pull up and you have stuff ready to go for that person. And one good way to do that is just staying organized, you know, maybe have a Dropbox or something and just have tags on your beats that you know about, like label your beats in a certain way where you're like, okay, that's this style. If you're making money on beats, you're going to be getting hit up from different people in different genres and stuff. You're going to have to be able to navigate your beats really fast. I got tens of thousands of beats, and I would not be able to just be like, oh, I remember this name, bro. It's not possible once you start working a lot. You got to be able to have a different way to stay really organized and get things out fast without struggling or exhausting yourself listening to 50,000 beats to pick the few that fit. Advanced tip 6 is have a plan for stuff when it's not going your way, or you got beat block or something. Make sure you have stuff to do. There's always some fallback plan. There's no such thing as I can't do anything right now, bro. If I really ain't working on some beats and I'm having an inspiration issue, which doesn't happen very often, but if I am, I got backup plans, bro. I got kits I'm working on. I got other things I could be inspired by. I got different genres I'm trying to learn, so I can maybe apply some of those tools and kind of refresh and rejuvenate kind of the stuff I was working on, you know what I mean? So make sure you always got something, you know, as a fallback plan in terms of keeping yourself busy and productive, because it's just natural, bro. It's not going to always, you're not going to wake up and feel like $1 million every day, and you got to be able to do something productive, because that's half of it is pushing through that stuff, bro. And the more you do it, the less that stuff happens too. Like the beat block stuff, I know that happens to people all the time. I can't remember the last time I had like real hard beat block that I couldn't break through within maybe like 2 hours or something, because there's just so many tools I got where I'm like, okay, I know this is gonna help me do this. I know this is gonna help me work on something else and give me a different perspective. I know I can go listen to this or go study this and then be able to come here and listen to this a different way that's gonna be able to break me out of that cycle. So advanced tip 7, be a mind reader. I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta be able to go in with these artists in these sessions and be able to put yourself in their shoes. And the issue with people a lot of times, especially artists, they don't know exactly how to articulate what they want, but it's your job to put yourself in their brain and be able to articulate it for them. I could go into a lot of sessions, especially with people I work with all the time, and I can kind of piece together, even if they don't know how to explain it, I'd be like, I get what you want. I get the essence of what you're asking for, or what you want this project to be, or what you want your sound to kind of evolve into, and I can help do that. That's a big thing, is being able to kind of like literally just put yourself in other people's shoes and and in their mind and be in the world, because they all have a world they're trying to create and a theme with all the projects they do. You got to really buy into that world and be like, here, I'm inside of this universe and I'm able to kind of expand some of the ideas that you might not know how to articulate or kind of tell anybody what you want. And that's going to be something that's going to make you a prime producer for somebody. I'm telling you, because that's something that a lot of producers can't do and or don't even think about doing. You know what I mean? Just tell me what you want. Just tell me what you want. That's not always the answer. What's the reference? What's the reference? Sometimes there's no reference, bro. Sometimes you just got to feel the abstract fucking idea and be able to kind of reel it all in for an artist and be like, I kind of understand the essence of what you're going for. I know what lane you're in. I know where you're trying to take this. Here's a way we can evolve it. Advanced tip 8, you're making good money off of music. You got to be able to keep reinventing yourself, bro. There's always a kid who's coming up who's just as hungry, and they see the blueprint that you used and they're going to rinse that blueprint. And I'm telling you, it's going to get stale, and you got to be able to keep doing things that reinvent yourself, that make you stand out from other people, whether you're partnering with people who make VSTs, making your own VST, using your brand, since, you know, like I said, you're making money, you got credentials, doing stuff on Splice, doing whatever it is, bro. You're doing some things that are kind of separating you, and you're not just staying there and being like, oh, I'm just doing this, I'm cool, this is gonna be good, this horse I'm riding is gonna be able to last forever. No, gotta always be looking at the next thing you could do to reinvent yourself and kind of bring yourself to the forefront of that like innovative field, I guess, in terms of producing and stuff, whatever the case may be. Gotta be able to do that. Don't just get complacent, bro. Gotta keep trying to reinvent yourself. So important. For example, one of the things I did is I kind of try to branch off of BeatStars, even though I still have a BeatStars, but now I got my own website where I'm branding myself, and it's very much my aesthetic, my vibe. It's got even a Cody FM radio on there where I have beats on there where people can listen to, free kits, download and stuff, and the aesthetic is me, bro. Just unapologetically my vibe. You got to do things that's like a little bit creative. We're in a creative field, so you got to do creative things all the time, not just the run-of-the-mill stuff. That wraps it up for this. A little bit of a different video. I'm very much like a off-the-cusp person. I just wear my heart on my sleeve. I say things as they come to me. I don't script everything out too much because I just want it to be very relatable, because this is how I would talk to you if it was like me to you, face to face. This is legit the way I would talk to you, and I like to keep it that way because I want you guys to understand that I started out where you did. There is no ulterior like secret thing you're gonna find out about me where my pops was the head of somewhere, some label or some shit. No, I started just like a lot of y'all. I started later than a lot of y'all. I started at 19, zero music background other than like piano 1 in high school or something that I messed around in. I took it for fun, and I ended up turning it into this. Very thankful, and I love y'all. And if you guys want me to do another video, I probably come up with more stuff. Like I said, this is all just kind of off the top of my head, so it's a little scattered, but hopefully you got some value. Let me know what things you think here or stuff people don't really touch on too often that you found helpful for other people, so they could click the little timestamp and get the advice. So thank you guys.